what are we going to do today? We're going to embroider a really cute border on the edge of, I'll show you this quilt in just a second. What we're going to do is we're going to use the new magnetic frame, which is really to die for. It's a little on the pricey side, but well worth the money. It fits the Solaris and the Luminaire machines, so it's awesome to use. So anyway, we're going to put a border into this, and we're going to be using the snap hoop, or this new magnetic hoop. It's really, really wonderful. And the Solaris 2 and the Solaris 1 both have border functions. It's a little easier on the Solaris 2 or Luminaire 2. The border function on the Solaris and the Luminaire will do up to about a little less than 4-inch wide border. So we have to take a few measurements. So in preparation, what you have to do is you have to put your quilt sandwich together. And I found this piece. It has nothing to do with the front, but it's the back. I don't care. And you got to and then you want to spray it down. You want to put your quilt sandwich with your backing and your batting, and use cotton batting. You could use polyester batting, but it's going to slide around. So you want to use the good old-fashioned cotton batting so it doesn't move on you. And then, of course, you're going to spray the top down. I used 505 spray in order to adhere this really well. And so the other thing you want to do is, when you're setting a border, you want to measure the size that you want to make the border. But if you'll notice here, I'm staying about 1/4 of an inch away. You don't want to put a border right up close to here. Why? Because if you're off in the least little bit, you're going to see it if it's closer than 1/4 of an inch. Anyway, I did a mark 1/4 of an inch away from the edge of from the seam. Then I'm going to determine how wide do I want this border. Now this will do up to, I think it's 3.94 inch wide border. I don't want one that big, so I think I measured it out 3 inches, and I chalked it. You don't have to chalk it. I chalked it so you could see it. So you want to take some measurements. So I want this border to be, and I always start at 1. Okay, it's a 3-inch wide border. Okay, I can deal with that. Okay, and then we're going to go to our machine. Okay, we're going to go to embroidery. I'm going to pick the border function, which is right here. It says Q and it has that around it. And I'm going to pick which border I want. In the Solaris and the Luminaire 2, you have I think was these first up to this one, number 15. Well, with the Solaris 2, you've got more. So there's like 4 more or 5 more borders. But there's also 2 color borders, and there's hexagonal borders. I want to pick a regular one. I want to do 2 colors. And I want to pick one of this new one because it kind of goes along with this heron design. Okay, so I hit set. Okay, and now in the Solaris one you had to use this option, but now we have this one, and it's going to use the projector to place things absolutely perfect. It's really, really nice. Okay, so here's, go up a little bit. Okay, so here's some of our measurements. We need to measure how big it is from top, right to left, from outside to outside. Okay, so I'm going to measure that. Okay, and it is from here to here is 16 and that's what, 16 and 5/8. I'm going to round it to 16 and a half because I don't want to think about it. So we're going to make this 16 and a half, okay? Oops, I'm going to key in 16.5. Set, okay? Number 2 here, it wants to know the length from the outside to the outside. So I'm going to measure that. And that's why I chalked it out, just so okay, this is 21 1/4. Okay, so we can put this here, 21.5. 0.25 because I have it in inches. Metric, you could be a lot more specific. If you want to get it down till it's absolutely perfect, use millimeters because it will be a lot better. And then hit set. And now this is how big is your border. And I think I measured it before. It was 3 inches. 3 inches and set. I'm also going to tell it what size hoop I'm going to be using. You could use several hoops. You do not have to have the magnetic hoop in order to use this function, but it's going to make it a lot nicer. So it's going to be 14 by 7. Where is that? There it is, 14 by 7. And then next. Okay, it's automatically going to start it for you. It's now telling me that it's breaking it up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 designs. And the total, here's the total, and 12, there's 12 pieces to this design, and I'm going to put it into memory. Data was saved in the machine memory. Do I want to embroider it? Now I can save it and come back later, but I'm going to go, okay, yes, I'm going to sew it now. Okay, alrighty, so I'm going to hoop this thing. So let me turn it. And this is very easy to hoop. I'm going to start in the upper right-hand corner all the time. Okay, and let's take a look at the hoop. When you get your hoop, they come with very powerful magnets. You saw that, I almost jumped out of my hand. This is very hard to remove, so they came with this tool that helps you to pry it off. Once you have batting on here in the backing, it's not going to be that hard to move. So anyway, your sewing area, you want your sewing area, I'm going to put this in the middle, because your sewing area sort of starts inside these middle rails. Okay, so that piece is going to fit about in there, and I feel pretty comfortable that it's going to be there. So I'm going to slide this underneath. And you want to get this as close as you can. Let me see. Or straight. Go this way. A lot of times for me it's easier to fold this so that I can see. And I'm going to put this one on. So you use the arrows always go to the inside, and you just sweep it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Almost had it. There. And they just click right in. Okay? Why these stay nicely is because there is this triangular rail that these magnets sit on. So I'm going to put this back and take the other large one. Arrows to the inside and sweep it straight. There. And now it's going to hold it. And I don't know if I left enough room. I don't think I did here. See how you can slide this up and down. Okay, and then this goes this way. And another couple small ones. Backwards, it didn't hold. What's nice is that, yes, they stick together, but you can get them apart. So they're not so powerful, and if you put them together, they repel. So you put them in here wrong, it repels. And I'm going to put this on. And this way. I seem to want to keep putting that one backwards, don't I? And then the last two, my scissors stuck to it. There. And the last one goes here. Okay, this is ready to go into the machine. So let's move over to the machine. I'm going to put this over here so you can see what's going on. Now, this just clips in as normal. It is not going to go straight. You're going to have to finagle this in. I don't know if you can see it. I want to put the foot in right in between, in that gap there. And then slide it in as usual. And just Make sure you don't have anything underneath. We won't talk about how many times I've embroidered something and the end of the shirt is underneath. That's not a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to scoot this way so we can go back and forth to the camera. Now, I am going to go to the screen, and we were left on the embroidery file, so it's the first thing. It's going to come up with all the pieces as well as the whole one. What these are for is in case you mess up somewhere, you can go back to the segment that you need to fix. So this is determine what kind of parts it needs. I'm just going to pick this one. Did I pick it? There we go. And set. And it's thinking. Okay, then it tells you to begin sewing in the upper, I can't read that. Begin sewing in the upper right hand corner of the fabric. Attach the embroidery frame in the initial sewing position. Okay. Okay, and it's going to tell you to, right here, it's telling you that you are going to go and put the needle right there at that dot, which is right in the corner. So I am going to take this out of the way because that keeps flopping down. Okay, let's see, lower the presser foot and hit OK. Alrighty, so alrighty, and now the projection has gone on, and I don't know if you can, it's hard to see that projection because it is kind of bright. It's asking for the corner, so we are going to use the positioning keys. First I'm going to slide it. And I'm going to just move now. Now I've got it dragged it mostly the way, and so now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use these arrow keys to fine tune it. I don't know why the laser pointer didn't come on, and I don't see. Okay. Well, I can't quite tell. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move the needle. And it needs to go up a little bit more. Oh, you can see it. It's green. It's hard to see that green. I'm not sure if it's on there or not, because I can't see the green. A little bit down. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, here we go. Okay, I just changed the color, background color, so I can see it a little better. And yeah, I'm still off. And what it is there is a T crosshair. It kind of looks like, because you can't see it on a camera. It's a green upside down T. It looks like this. Okay. Well, I can't see that either, right? It looks like that. Well, we can't see that either. Can't even see where I drew it. Yeah, there it is. It looks like that, but it's green. And it is. Well, I think you can see it there now. See how it's right in there? Okay, so then I'm hitting OK. Okay, and we are good. I think we're good. So I assumed I did it straight. So it's ready to stitch. Now, I am ready to stitch this. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to plus or minus, which is this button. Where to go? Couple things I want to do before I start to sew. Because I'm quilting, I want to turn off the end color trim. I do not want it to cut. Now this doesn't have any jump stitches. I can't see that. Right there. And that was on the, that was here. That was right here, where it's where you're changing your when I press that, it's changing my tension, end color trim, or jump stitch trim. Doesn't have jump stitches, so I'm not going to be concerned with it, but I want to turn off that end color trim. And the reason is I do not want it to cut and make those little knots and the little pieces of thread behind it. I want to be able to bury the knots so that it looks seamless and pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go to plus or minus. I'm going to go forward 1 stitch. Okay, now it's moved to the number 1 stitch. So the first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to grab my thread, I'm going to needle down, needle up, and I want to pull that bobbin thread up. Now, what I want to do, I have wound a bobbin with the same color thread, and I'm using like a navy blue or a royal blue because I don't want it to be too obvious. But I don't want to see those knots on the front, so I skipped it forward a stitch or 2. Now I lower the presser foot, and now I'm ready to stitch. I'm going to hold on to these. Okay, and it's going to start to stitch. Now what I could do with these is it did form a knot. I could then just keep them out of the way, which is what I think I'm going to do, because then I'm going to take a needle, a sewing needle, and bury these knots inside the fabric so that you will, and I'm just going to leave them aside because I am going to bury those knots later. Just not going to do it right now. I'll probably just keep them out of the way. And you see it's just coming within 1/4 inch, just right. Okay, stop. Okay, I want to pull up that bobbin thread. And I should have stopped it before. I did my own that I shouldn't do. But, let's see if I can get that up with a pin. Where is my pin? I want to pull this bobbin thread to the top, so I'm going to give it a tug. Take it out. See if I can't get it to come up. Oh, well, we're not going to have that one. Okay, if it does that, and see, it's not going to come out, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is just simply cut it from the back so it won't make a mess. Okay, now it said that embroidery pattern is finished. On to connect to the next one. Yep, okay. We're good to go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, it's telling us here, it's telling you that you're going to see if you hoop this right. Yeah, I probably didn't. So I hit OK. And it is moving to this line. I want to go right on that line. Okay, now use the rotate keys to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern. Okay, so we want to move. Okay, alrighty, we need to rotate it. It went down here, and that's where we need to go, so I'm going to rotate this. Let's see, 10 degrees is too many. So we want to go that way a little bit, maybe 1 degree. Oh, wait a minute, you can't see what I'm doing, sorry. Okay, it went down to this lower end of the corner, and I need to, that's 1 degree there, 1 degree too much, so I need to move it back a little bit. until that needle is right over the line, and I believe it is. Okay, so okay. It should remember where it left off, so I'm going to again go to 1 stitch forward. And that's exactly where it's left off. Awesome. So I'm going to pull that bobbin thread up again, hold it out of the way, and stitch. This time it worked. Oh, it's right perfectly on that line. Or it's within 1/8 of an inch. I think I didn't do the line, the chalk line too straight. Okay, it's getting ready to stop. As soon as I hear it slow down, stop. Okay, so now I'm going to raise the presser foot, pull this thread, let it do 1 stitch and 1 stitch up. Now I can grab both ends. There's my bobbin thread. So I want to find out the one. I'm going to clip the one that moves, and I'll just clip them all. Okay, now that's done. I'll let it. It wanted an extra one. Okay, now it says embroidery is finished. Okay to connect the next pattern. Okay. It's now going to tell me to loop. Okay. So this time I'm going to again pull this off the machine, because now I'm going to rehoop it here. Let's see if I got it straight, because I have this tail. Now what's nice about keeping this long tail is because you're going to bury the knots. So if you have not gotten this perfect, so if we turn it on the back, yeah, let's see. See right there, I can see that. That's going to bother me, but that's why I use the same color thread. I can, on the front of this, I can take those threads, and instead of putting them straight down, I can move them over and connect them. Okay, like I could take these threads right here, and I could just bury them all so that it connects exactly in case I haven't done it. Now I'm going to need to take this out and rotate it. So I'm going to take all of these magnets out, and a lot easier. I'm going to cut some of this off. Need that much. See how much easier they are to remove once you have batting in here? Okay, and now I'm going to return it to the next corner. I think. No, I think we just need, you know what? We didn't. We just needed to slide it down. So, I should have looked and see, but in case I didn't, it's okay. So you can slide this back up so that it appears entirely inside the sewing area. And again, I'm going to I'll get it right on the next side, I promise. And this goes, again, use this to help sweep. Arrows always go to the center. And arrows to the center. Arrows to the center, and then we're going to put it back. I'll put it back on the machine. Okay. Now I rehooped the fabric. It is now asking me to match the starting points. In other words, match up the starting point to the end point. So I hit OK. Okay, I got to come down a lot. And I have my thread here so I know where that ending point is. And I'm using the arrow keys to line this up. And let me go bigger. And so you can see, I don't know if you can see the green, it's right here is, you can see the thread where I did that before. And that green crosshair is right on this, is targeted right, exactly right there. Okay, so I hit OK. Okay, then I'm going to use the rotate keys for this bottom edge right here so that in case I have done it crooked. So here's what it said here. Use the rotate keys to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern. Adjust the size of the pattern so that the lower left point will be the inside corner of the next pattern. Okay, so where's my move? Okay, I'm going to rotate it. I think I had rotated it a little bit this way. Okay, so, oh, and what I did is I put it right on the line, that bottom point right on the line. And then I have to adjust the size right here. Just stretch it out. It doesn't give me the option of doing that. Well, we're just going to start sewing it. Started. Oh. Okay, I didn't pull up the bobbin thread. You know what? I'm just going to let it go for now. We'll deal with it another time. Okay, it's exactly stitching. So far, so good. Okay, next pattern. Okay, now it says to turn it 90 degrees. So now we will take it out. Here's what it's telling me. It's telling you to, once the side is sewn, turn the fabric 90 degrees counterclockwise, then rehoop it in the embroidery frame so that the corner is in the upper right hand. So the corner of the quilt is in the upper right hand corner. So we'll take this off. I'm going to turn it again so that this is inside here. That's the sewing area. And I'll get it relatively straight.
We just sold that one, but we have another one in boxes.
And I'm going to keep it. Arrows in.
It was another one of these over there.
There was a sewing machine here, but I know it said
arrow's always in. Okay, back to the machine. Okay, we've already done that. Okay. It's now going to do a corner again. So we're going to move pattern keys to align the start point with the end point of the previous pattern, which is way up there. Okay, okay. And we're going to move it. Okay, and then what I'm doing is I'm getting this right here. That's as high as it will go, which means I could have hooped this a little bit lower, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave it for now. Maybe over one more. Okay, and it looks good. So I'm going to hit OK. And then use the rotate keys to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to have to put the marker right there in the next corner. So, okay. Oh, okay, so I need to rotate it, if you can see, a teeny bit. There we go. I've got to rotate it just a tiny bit. Okay, and it looks like I don't think I need to stretch it. It just fit just right. So I'm going to hit OK. And so okay, I am going to bring up the bobbin thread. Needle down, needle up. There, and go. Got to get it right because you have to start all over every time. Okay, same thing. Oh, it knotted on me. So that. This is something you definitely don't want to do while you're being distracted.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. The whole thing is distracting me. I'm just going to cut it for now because it's just a sample and really no one's going to notice. Okay, so now the next one to connect, so I'm good to go. And we go through the same thing again. We're going to use the rotate keys in order to rotate this, okay? Okay, and again, I'm going to, it needs to rotate this way, going that way, so I'm going to rotate it. Oh, good. So if you don't hoop it just perfect, you're okay. Okay, and okay. And it's ready to stitch this one. And I'm just going to let it stitch. I'm not going to worry about. I don't want the knots on the back. Well, okay, yeah, Maddie pre-ordered the frame way back. And now it's ready for the next pattern. So we hit OK. Again, we're going to use, it's going to use the rotate keys again. So OK. And it's just doing a little tiny bit. Okay, see it's coming down to the next corner. Okay, so I'm going to, oops, sorry. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Maybe 1 degree. Ah, that went perfectly, and let's see. See, now it's right on that corner. Because if it didn't go on the corner exactly, then you would hit this key in order to stretch it out a little bit. but I'm not going, or this one right here stretches it out a little bit. If it didn't hit that corner, then I would use this key. If it didn't hit the corner right here, like it's supposed to, then you could stretch out the design a little bit with that key. Before, so okay, and it's good to go. And I'm just going to let it sew again. Oh, sorry, you didn't see what I was doing. And it's sewing the last little bit. Okay, connect the next pattern. Now this is the short side. I'll bet it's going to tell me to rotate it. And now we're going to rotate it for the second time. So I'll take this out, hoop it again. Okay. It seems to be getting a little faster now that I'm not messing it up. Now this to me holds a lot more secure than the dime magnetic frames, because this one actually is just made for the machine. Okay, back to the machine. Okay. Now it's telling me that we need to match up the beginning point to the ending point. So, okay. And we gotta really move it up. And just using the arrow keys. I could use the click and drag, but okay, I think we have it. Here's the start. Need to just go over a tiny bit. I think that's it. Again, I'm going to go needle down, needle up. Oh, you know what? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Okay, then I hit OK. Okay, now it's telling me to match up the corner. So I have to find the corner. So hit OK. Alrighty, there we go. And I want to get that crosshair right on that. That's right there on the corner. And so now I'm going to hit OK. And we're ready to stitch. Alrighty. And press the foot. One stitch. And I've got bob and thread. And now we go. Perfect. That one was perfect. Yay! Completely off and had to keep starting over again. Okay. I'll see you. Okay, now we're doing the next pattern again. For the next time, we're gonna rotate it. It remembers where it ended. So now we just need to move that rotation over a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And then it's going to remember where it ended, so I'm going to go to the first. Where I'm going to is right here. I'm going to this first key. Or no, not there. I did the plus or minus. I want to just advance it one stitch, just so I can pull up the bobbin thread. go. There's my bobbin thread. Lower the presser foot and stitch. And that was perfect. It remembered where it left off. Wow, I'm amazed. I think before I was trying to over position it so that it was absolutely perfect, what I thought was perfect, and I didn't need to do that because the machine would do it for you, so you didn't need to do it. Get my threads out of here. And I'm watching the screen because when it gets done, I don't want it to cut. Okay, and I'm just gonna clip those. There. Okay, so it's ready for the next pattern. And it says to rehoop the fabric, so I need to scoot it down. Now this is what I should have done last time. Instead of taking the fabric hoop, if you have a regular hoop, because yes, you can do this on a regular hoop, but I have this sliding hoop, so I don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is this. Okay, I need to scoot it down that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these. I'm just going to leave 2 of the small rails on here. And I think I can do this without even taking it off the machine. Because look, I can just take this and slide it down. Oh, one more. Slide it down. Okay. Just had to slide it, and that's good. And now I will put these back. Is it straight? No, but it doesn't have to be. And there's nothing saying that you have to have the short rails down there. It can be here. Okay. I've rehooped the material. I've just scooted it down. You could do the same thing with the dime ones. Okay. Alrighty, now it says move the pattern to the start of the last piece. So I'm going to hit OK. And it is right here. Whoops. It's right here. So I'm going to move it. Move one more. And one more in. That looks perfect. Okay. Okay. And then rotate, check the rotation. So I hit OK. And again, see, it says check the rotation. So it seems like if you are just moving it in one direction, it has you do a start point and a rotation or end point. So I hit OK. And there we go. I am going to rotate. I didn't hoop this straight. I must have moved it. So I am going to rotate it. And I need to stretch it out. See how it's not? Let's see, I want to show that really close to you. See, it's not right there. Okay, it is on the right plane, which is the rotation, but I need to stretch that out a little bit. So that's where I'm going to hit that key. Okay, so now when you look at it, it's right there on the point. Perfect. Okay, so hit OK. Okay, I'm going to go forward 1 stitch to bring my bobbin thread up. And hold on to it and go. Okay. Now it's going to ask us to rehoop it for the last time. Okay, next pattern, and yes, it's going to say turn it, I think. Yep, turn, this is the last one. Okay, so, okay, take all these off. All right, back to the machine, and we're going to do the last 2 passes, I think. Because yes, remember there was 12 hoopings to this whole pattern. And now it's asking us to go back to that first point to match it up top to bottom. So I have a lot to move here. So again, I'm going to hit this key. Okay, and I'll show you so you can see better. Okay. And my is right there, so I gotta go up more. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put this into the corner. It's asking me to mark my corner. Okay. And the corner just needs to scoot a teeny bit over. There. I think that's good. Okay. And now it's asking me to sew it. So I'm going to go plus or minus to the first one. Pull my bobbin thread up and down. And sew. Okay. Alrighty. And then connect to the next pattern. Okay, first thing it's going to ask us to check the rotation. It's telling you what to do every step of the way. Check my rotation. Okay, which means I need to bring that back to this line. So I'm going to rotate it, I guess, what, 1 degree? Not too much. I'd say that's right on that line. Okay, and then okay. Okay, again, back to the stitch number 1. Bobbin thread up. There we go. And sew. Okay. Okay, so, and it's got, this is going to be the last pattern. So it says connect to next pattern. Yep. Okay, now it's telling you to go to the start point. Okay. And I can't tell. And it's actually exactly right there. Okay, it's exactly right there. Okay. Now go to the end point of the very first one we did. So I'm going to hit OK. And here is the thread. So I'm going to move it. Let me see. Okay, here's my thread. And I need to put that crosshair right on that thread. So I am going to, first of all, I need to stretch it out and rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it first and probably 1 degree that way, maybe another. That's good. Stretch it out. Maybe 1 more degree. Okay, I think it's right on that point, don't you? Looks like here's my thread, here's the crosshair right on it. Let's just take a look at this. And I think we're good to go. Okay, and then once again, I'm going to go to the first stitch. 1. Okay, pull my bobbin thread up. Here's my bobbin thread. I'll hold this out of the way, and this one, and let's see. Is it right? Oh, wow, it's right. Totally awesome. Oh my God, it got it right on there. All right, let's put this over here on the side. Let's take a close look at this. And now it's finished. So let's take it out and take a good look at it. Oh, raise that, and let's go move the tripod over to the table. Let's take a really close-up look at this, where it stopped and started. There it is. Nope. Go down a little more. Right there. Look at this. You can't even tell. Here's the beginning. Look at that. That's perfect. Here was the last join. Perfect. There were a couple of them that were off at the very beginning when I was messing it up, but here, I'm just going to clip them because I'm not going to bury these, but they're knotted, so they're not going to come out anyway. I don't normally bury threads unless it's an heirloom quilt or a show quilt or something that someone's going to really be taking a look at it, because I'm not usually going to care. They're going to be washed, and nobody's going to, you know, a lot of times they say, do you want it finished or do you want it perfect? Because you're never going to get both. Let's take a look at the back. Let's find where these joins are. Okay. There's one here. Where's the... It's hard to see it. And one good thing is if you use a busy background, then you don't have to worry about it matching perfectly. Okay, let's see. Here is another. Where's another one? Right here. Now this one's a little off. But like I said, if I were burying my threads, I would just close, and see, I could close that up, just bury that thread underneath, and you wouldn't be able to tell. Let's see. Here's another one where I didn't cut them. Here's another. Let me cut this. There. Here's another join. Like, this is why I usually don't allow it to knot. Because if this were a show quilt or an heirloom quilt, I would not like that. I don't like this knot. So that's why in real life what I do, like I did at the very end, I pull the bobbin thread up, and then I take a self-threading needle and bury it. And with a lot of time, I could do this on every one. But like I said, it's just, I couldn't do better than this. I could not, and I've been machine quilting for a long time. And it really, really looks nice. What do you guys think? You like it? You can do a quilt 118 inches long by 118 inches wide. So that is a king size quilt, ladies. You would just have to keep repeating the sliding, you know how we slid it up and down a lot? I would, now if you were quilting a king size quilt, I'd recommend having chairs and tables and ironing boards and whatever to help support the weight of the quilt, because you don't want the weight of the quilt weighing down your arm and making it drag. But it's going to work really well. So this is a way to get a regulated stitch perfect as perfect could be. So does anyone have any questions?